All right, Knights of Apollo, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to another fantastic Rome 2 Siege battle. This time, we've got a competitive battle. This is from a Siege 2v2 tournament, and these players are very skilled, so you're going to see some high-skill tactics. This battle replay was submitted by Bubinni, which he has a YouTube channel of his own where he covers a lot of Rome 2 and shows a lot of tricks and tips and guides that will help you improve and expand your knowledge of the game. So definitely check out his channel and give him a subscribe. Now in this battle, they're taking on the Biggest Booty Warriors. That is their team name. All right, so they're playing as Parthia and Egypt, and Bubinni and his ally Sir Alex, they are playing as Syracuse and Ioli. Now, you're probably wondering, Ioli, what? I've never seen this faction before. How are they playing as this faction? Well, they're part of the Rise of the Republic DLC. You can load in or glitch in factions in the Grand Campaign, lobbies by just having army presets and just loading them in. So, Rise of the Republic, according to Bubinni, I'm not sure, I don't know, but Bubinni knows more than me. Apparently this DLC is closest in terms of like how even the factions are compared to the Grand Campaign, compared to other DLCs. I think most other factions and other DLCs kind of suck compared to the Grand Campaign, and Rise of the Republic are a bit better. Now, Ioli, what are they like? I have no idea. Honestly, I've never played them, but what we're gonna do is play a quick video from Bubinni, who covers this faction, who's going to give you some insight about this interesting, cool faction.
Ioli is a unique barbarian faction where they are the only one in the game with full guerrilla and stealth on all their units. Their strengths rely in that all their units have guerrilla and stealth, making it hard to predict where they are. Access to arguably the strongest archers in the game, strong peltists that are capable in melee, and they have infantry with the second highest weapon damage in the game, which are deadly on the charge. Their weaknesses, however, are the expensive roster. Melee infantry are not as good in prolonged combat, and either overly expensive and/or subpar cavalry. Their core units are the noble Sardi archers, heavy Nuragic runners, and the Sardi hillmen. Similar to Odrysian Kingdom, you're more of a support faction, where you'll want to cycle charge as often as possible and assist your teammates on the front line. Use your noble Sardis to focus down enemy skirmishers or elite enemy infantry. It's better on defense due to the reliance on guerrilla and ambush tactics. Here's an example of 2 attacking armies and 2 defending armies. Ioli pairs well with factions that have infantry with better staying power in prolonged combat and better cavalry, such as Galatia, Iceni, and Bactria.
So there you have it, guys. Like I said, be sure to give Bubinni a subscribe, because that's the kind of stuff that he has on his channel, and you can learn a lot. He gives you all kinds of guides and stuff. So guys, don't forget your snacks and drinks. Sit somewhere comfortable and get ready for this highly intense, high-T, strategic, skillful battle. Let's jump in. All right, the war drums are banging. Parthia is moving forward with their tower. It looks like they just stopped as I started the video, but they are in position, I suppose. There they go. All right, they're moving forward. So Parthia moving forward. They are firing their artillery as we speak as well. And it looks like they're trying to take out this corner of the wall. Already doing 67% damage, so near destruction. Now, Syracuse is not going to sit back and just let this happen. They are moving out some thorax swordsmen. This is not common. You don't usually see infantry sallying out, at least not alone. But of course, they do have some archer support on the wall, so if they do try to engage this infantry, the archers would, of course, support them and fire at the flank. I don't think the attackers are going to go for the bait. I don't think they're going to go for it, but I could be mistaken. We'll see. On the other side, we got another sally out unit, Skirmisher Cav by Syracuse, so they could be looking for an opportunity, maybe to get archers, maybe to get artillery, or maybe just there to scout. I mean, who knows? But they're not exactly high threatening. Oh, now the artillery's going for the going for the infantry, and the infantry's like, yeah, I'm not having any of that. But, well, they lost some troops here. I was gonna say they forced them to use up some ammo trying to get this infantry, but it looks like they did land a hit there on those thorax swords. Not a ton of damage, but obviously you don't want to lose Thorax like that. So he's gonna pull them back. They have taken down the breach point, and now the arrow towers opening fire on the attacking towers, the siege towers. We've got some Thorax swordsmen going up to the wall, which is an interesting move. I wonder if they're gonna just try to get their javies to hit some of these guys. I don't think they're actually on this wall to actually defend it, as it's not ideal to actually try to hold the walls like this. Who knows? But it looks like they're just kind of staying there. Maybe they're just there to protect the arrow tower. But it does appear that Parthia is setting up 2 towers that potentially they might full-on attack here. Usually in these higher level plays, or these players will use strategies where the siege towers are they're just moving walls essentially there to protect your own men from defending archers. But they might actually utilize them here and try to overwhelm. Oh, look at that. See, okay, hold on. There's a lot going on here. I'll slow this down because we do have Cav in the back there being sneaky. So I wanted to shout this out. This is kind of cool. He moved up the towers, I think, to shield most of the javies. So this cheap spear infantry unit, the Eastern Spearmen, can go up here and actually torch this tower. They're trying to get it done. So they're trying to protect them from the javies. So that's actually pretty cheeky. He's not necessarily attacking. Again, just using the towers as big, massive shields. Let's go back to normal speed because the Syracuse Cav is falling back. And I think, yeah, they're running away from enemy Peltis, which can be very devastating. If the Peltis are locked and ready to go, and they get a volley off on your Cav, they can utterly crush them. You want to try to get these Peltis when they're not ready, they're out of position, that kind of thing. So let's head back over to this side and see how this is progressing. Sure enough, the tower is going to collapse, and the infantry is going to get out of there. Why? Because the tower can collapse on your men and do damage to them. So he tried his best there to, keep them at bay and do some damage at the very least if they're going to destroy this tower. But you can see, like, how high stakes this battle is, like how great these players are. And this is why I love siege battle. I know there's some people like, oh, siege battles are boring, it's slow pace. No, siege battles, it's like a super epic chess match where you have all these small battles going on, these small little gains of victory that add up to the end, or add up at the end, where if you've won a lot of minor victories, you'll earn that major victory. So that's why I like siege battles. Anyways, we've got the Syracuse Cav once again flanking around. He's trying to get something here. This is a fairly cheap unit. There we go. He hit the general there a little bit. It's not going to hurt him, but he is going to go for these archers. And honestly, this is kind of a big mistake from Egypt. I mean, you cannot let your archers like this get hit in such a high-level game. Now, did he not kill a single archer unit in that charge? Holy smokes. Guys. Okay, no. It took a while for it to update. He killed about 15 archers there. Was it worth it? Probably. I don't know. Archers are such a big part of the game. Any way that you can inflict casualties. I know it's not like the end of the world for Egypt, but that unit is now at a disadvantage, at least like from a numbers standpoint, and maybe even the morale is shook there a little bit. But they killed 5 or 15 there. I think they got a couple. Oh yeah, they got a good amount here. 6 there, so 21. They got 2 there, so 23 archers dead. Oh no, they got another 5. So, very cool. So, what is it, 28 archers they killed? That's a decent chunk right there. And notice the slow pace of these high-stake battles. Or, I say high-stake as if they're playing for high stakes. I meant, like, high-skill players. You get what I'm saying. Look at the slow and steady pace of these battles. You don't want to rush into these fights. You want to make sure you're 2 steps ahead of your opponent, and you're trying to counter everything your opponent is doing. Here, once again, we've got some Eastern Spearmen, kind of used as cannon fodder. They're coming out to try, I assume, to destroy these towers up here. Oh, no! Yeah, I wish you could turn off the oil for these gates, because there is a little bit of friendly fire. It wasn't the end of the world, but a decent chunk of his men have been killed by some friendly fire. They do break the spears. In doing so, they protect the arrow towers. These are, guys, I cannot stress enough, arrow towers are so important to try to hang on to. And I've even seen defenders destroy their own arrow towers when they're on the verge of losing them, and they don't want the arrow towers turned, you know, and used against them. So they'll burn down their own towers just so that it's not in the enemy's hands. So something to consider, but that was a pretty good move there. I mean, he lost a decent amount of men to friendly fire, but you know, it is what it is. Again, I wish there was like an option you can click on the gate, like have it clickable, and then like have abilities that you can click, like turn off oil, you know, something like that. Maybe switch to like hot water or something, which is like maybe does less damage, but is more, it falls more, like more rapidly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like recycles, recharges more quickly. Anyways, we got a desperate cav charge with the skirmisher cav going into these archers. Another good hit. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to make it. They're down to 9. He's really, I mean, he's really making this skirmish cav work here. I mean, God bless him. Look at this. So they got a total of 33 kills. Pretty much probably 100%, 95% of those kills being archers. So I think it's safe to say that they're less... They have 33 less archers in their ranks. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, I honestly feel like that skirmish cav was just kind of like a throwaway unit. He had some leftover money. He got that instead of getting upgrades on a chevron, you know. But yeah, they did what they could, and now we have Egypt moving forward, and they're moving up their towers, and they're actually kind of leaving them in a strange place. I wonder why they're leaving them here. I would assume that it would have been better to kind of put them more here, which would make it harder for the arrow towers to shoot the infantry charging forward this way. So, I don't know. Maybe... Well, they also broke down this breach here. Look at that. So they got 2 breaches that they can potentially use. The defenders are using a bend but don't break strategy. They're not going to hold right in the front here, which makes sense. Because when you're up there, it makes it easier for archers to hit you and stuff. When you're further back, you're using the arrow towers and a more narrow choke point. And there we go. We've got another unit. Look at this. This is Persian hoplites. A little bit tankier of a unit compared to the Eastern Spears. And it looks like the infantry stayed back there a little bit. Okay, there we go. It's almost like he's afraid of the oil again. Uh-oh. We got some lagging here. Yeah, so, okay. Now what he's doing, he's using a unit of hoplites to keep the defenders back, while a secondary unit goes and throws their torches of justice. Wow, what is going on? I wonder, sometimes the stutterness of a replay is from the actual live battle. I think when the game pauses, sometimes the replay pauses. I could be mistaken. I don't know. It could be just one of those things, you know. But yeah, he's using 2 units here to protect it. Now, the defenders could sally out this way to counter it. Obviously, that would be a big mistake, because then they would just counter that counter, and you're in a losing situation. But another tower is going to bite the dust here. It's at 100% fire damage. That means it will go down. And this infantry is out in the open here. And look at this weapon. Look at the weapon they use here. It's like a fist. It's like, look at this thing. It's like a club it's a glove club. It forms around your fist with little notches on it. It's actually kind of cool. I don't know if there's any historical evidence of such a weapon. I really don't know much about the history of Aioli. But yeah, please let me know in the comments below if such a weapon was used, or at the very least, such a weapon was found. You know, maybe there is such a weapon, but, you know, it was rarely used or something. Maybe for ceremonial or gladiator purposes, you know, whatever. Yeah, anyways, they are continuing to sally out and face these Persian hoplites. So the infantry fight has begun, and they might even, yeah, this might actually be a good move here to kind of flank around and hit these guys on the side. But they are giving up the fight at the gate. I think they're going to focus on this main assault here by Egypt. But no, they're just moving up. So they're just moving up, and they're going to hold this breach in case the Persians attack that opening. So let's head back over to this main front line where the fight is grumbling up. Thorax Swordsman. Honestly, because I have no knowledge of this faction, I really don't know how this faction stands. They seem, you know, like we saw in Bubinni's quick video, they are obviously an ambush faction. So what's their charge bonus? Charge bonus is 35. So that's why we kind of saw them cycling out there. Over on this side, the charge bonus is 18 for the Thorax Swordsman. So, oh yeah, look at this constant cycle because of that charge bonus. And they're getting support from Syracuse, using their skirmishers to hit these guys on the flank. This is huge. This is great. And now, okay, let's slow this down for a second because I really want to capture this strategy. This is great plays here by the defenders. They're instead of holding here, another reason I said, why aren't they just holding here? The reason for that, they stay back here, leaves this flank open. And that is exactly what's happening. So Egypt is getting hit hard, not only by the cycle charging that's constantly going on, but also this skirmisher. Are these slingers? Yeah, mercenary slingers here. They're hitting these guys hard. Now, how do you answer that? Well, you got to send archers over this way to fire and try to hit these slingers. But notice how the defenders are planning for that. Like I said, this is a game of chess, and you're trying to predict your enemy's moves 2 steps ahead, maybe even 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. Okay, I'll stop. But they got the slingers up here, and they're going to counter any archers that try to move up. Now, these towers, if they can fire over the towers and hit the slingers, but the slingers have... Looks like they fell back a little bit. Let's go back to normal speed, though. We don't want this video too long. And now we've got Syracuse setting up some Thorax hoplites. And then we've got another how do you say this? Neuragic runners? Please forgive my stupidity. Yeah, the hoplites have been thrown in. Parthian swordsmen also thrown in. So Parthia has now entered the arena in this area. And another great thing about this is this sword side. No, it's shield side, but it doesn't matter. They're angled in a way that it should do a lot of damage. And yeah, there goes the archers. So the archers, instead of going after the defending archers, are just going to go for the infantry. We have multiple 4 units tightly packed into this area, firing at the infantry, trying to hold back the attackers. So, and now they're firing at a unit that's just blocking most of it. So this is probably a waste of ammo to hit these guys. Maybe I'm wrong, but their shields are directly facing them, so I don't see a lot of... They're gonna get kills, but definitely not to the extent of, you know, making it worthwhile. So the slinger's still firing at the Thorax swords. You got these runners still making their stand, accompanied with the Thorax hoplites. And Pontus is kind of just chilling here for a little bit. There's a little 1v1 duel over here. Check this guy out. And the Thorax like, hey, stop picking on my friend. Very cool. But these guys, these runners are starting to break. They're down to 17. They got 60 kills. So I don't know if that's good for that unit, honestly. Let's zoom out here, make sure we're not missing anything bigger picture-wise. There is a unit in reserve of the heavy neuragic runners. These guys, I assume, are a bit better than the standard neuragic runners. But there's some hoplites that might charge forward, but honestly, I don't think they're going to pursue this breach point, at least not yet. Let's go back over to this fight where it is just 2 sides not willing to give up, or budge. And there we go. They're constantly cycling in and out these units. I assume these guys are pretty weak to archer fire because of how lightly armored, but they do have some pretty big shields. Look at these, like, leather shields, or leather covered shields. Now they got infantry. Syracuse got infantry attacking the thorax swordsman. The archers still over here. It looks like they've lost some men. I think the archers are desperately trying to... Well, I think they fired over here a little bit because clearly there's casualties, but... Yeah, these slingers have 58 kills. They're down to 75. But I am sure they still have ammo. This unit has 0 kills. Again, they're just like a protective, preemptive unit in case they try to flank around. But yeah, the slingers are trying to get an angle. That's essentially what's happening here. They're trying to get an angle on the enemy infantry, start chipping away at their numbers. Guys, let me tell you, Rome 2 is all about skirmishing. It is all about skirmishing. If you don't get your skirmishing in the right place at the right time, you're going to lose the battle. But they're going for these Eastern Javelin men, which they've gotten some kills on them. They're down to 103, originally 120. Go ahead and get some fun close-ups here of this battle, since this is a pretty bottleneck fight situation. We can really zoom in here and appreciate the cinema. Look at these guys' hair. Looking like Goldilocks. Oh, he bumped him in the head with that big shield. And a constant stream of reinforcements. You know, it's kind of funny in Bubinni's guide video for the Aioli. He said they're more of a support faction, but to be fair, they're fighting like they're a main faction. You know, they're fighting like they're the front line faction. We've got a lot of units in this front line, and he's still trying to cycle out. A decent cycle charge there. Some of them getting blocked by their infantry. But yeah, they're starting to run out of troops, guys. I mean, they still have a decent amount, but it's really going to come down to Syracuse. They've got a lot of reserves here. So we'll see how that plays out. We're down to the last 20 minutes of this battle. And the balance of power is still in favor of the attackers, as it was at the start of the battle. So nothing too much have changed yet. But the balance of power can sometimes be deceiving. I kind of wish Rome 2 had the same thing that Attila has, where you can hover on the balance of power and it shows the numbers of losses so far in the battle. That is so helpful, because then you can see how many losses. I don't know, the balance of power looks like actually it's shifting in favor of the attackers. I think it's because these Aioli units have suffered a lot of casualties. They're trying to constantly cycle charge them in. I don't know if it's working. Whoa, 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 what's going on here? How did this happen? We've got a random unit of Parthian swordsmen. A unit of 41 getting back here. Did they use... How did they do that? And they must have just snuck around. Oh, yeah, there's a big opening right here. I'm like, how did they get over here? I don't know. There's a big opening. So this could be a problem, and you can see Syracuse is going to close in to prevent them from maneuvering past them, because they could maneuver around and surround them. So they got to maintain this front line. The question is, are the defenders going to keep doing that? Is that a Scorpion? Yes, it is. Nice. I love the Scorpion. I love it. I love it. You know, Scorpion is such an underappreciated. This is definitely, the Scorpion is a high skill player unit. That's not necessarily true, but it's not too difficult to use. But the Scorpion is really cheeky. It is really, I in the last video I described it as a silent killer 100%, because it's not obvious when the Scorpion is being used against you, especially when you're busy fighting in this intense front line. So that Scorpion is probably hitting these units back here. Probably going after this thorax swordsman unit. You know, any unit that's sitting in reserve, the Scorpion goes for. It's obviously not going to go for the front line because you risk friendly fire. But yeah, that's cheeky right there. And oh, look at this. Look at this. The Javies from the thorax swordsman These archers are getting dangerously close to the walls. Smart move here by Syracuse, getting these swordsmen up on the wall to try to fire at these guys. But the archers don't care, and they're going to go for these slingers. And the slingers, I think, are trying to bob and weave. They're trying to dodge here, but they're going to get up on the walls as well, and they're going to fire back as well. So the walls are definitely going to help them. It's going to make them a bit more a more difficult target to hit. It's going to improve their survivability, except for this guy. He got hit in the head. Look at that. Right in the head. Look at him. Poor guy. Just look at him. He's just out. But yeah, nice little play there. Just kind of, I love that. Nice little zoning each other out. They still are in range. Look at this. These slingers have a target on these archers, but they're out of ammo. They have 98 kills. Don't waste your shots. These guys are out of ammo. You can tell because they have their daggers out. So something to look out for when you're playing. And now Ioli is sending really what's left of their army into the fight. I mean, I'm looking around. They've got 3 units back there, very healthy. They've got the general. Over here, oh yeah, that's right. This is an archer. Okay, I already mentioned this before, but this is the extra archer. They broke the rules, so they're keeping them away from the fight. So they're down a unit. But I'll probably say that in the intro. I usually do the intros after I record, just to help me give the context of the battle and what to say in the intro. But yeah, so let's see if I think Syracuse is going to stay back here using the arrow tower. Here's the thing, though. Well, that's fine. I was going to say it might make it easier for the archers to get some more plays in for the attacking archers, but this arrow tower is definitely going to help them out, and that's why they're kind of falling back to the next layer of the defense. Over on this side, though, they're not giving up. They're not giving up. They're going to keep fighting. This is a narrow choke point, and it looks like Syracuse is falling back some thorax swordsmen, or maybe they are falling back. Yeah, they are falling back. I think they're going to hold potentially here, maybe just here where those thorax are. They do have to worry about this breach point here, though. And the attackers have plenty of reserves to send a division that way to, you know, attack and potentially put some pressure on the defenders. There we go. We got another charge by the heavy neuragic runners. I've never seen this faction before. I rarely ever play the DLCs. I'm a BB. But it looks like Syracuse is kind of lightening the defense over here. He's pulling some units away from this front line, shifting them down to the other. And the reason for that is because I think he assumes the attackers have no interest in attacking over here. And also, look at this, guys. That Scorpion is hitting these bowmen. You gotta retreat them. You gotta hide them. But they've got a Scorpion of their own with 80 kills already. I knew I heard a Scorpion over here. So, oh, are they out of ammo? No. They're still going. They're still pumping that thing, loading that thing full of lead. So he's changing targets. Every time he reloads this thing, he's changing targets. Or he's holding fire. But yeah, that's again. Oh, there it is. So he's going for, it looks like he's going for these reserves back here, but this is a tough target to hit. But yeah, again, another great spot for the Scorpion. Now the Scorpion's firing at these thorax sword, or maybe that's the tower. Let's follow it. I'm curious.
Fire on the enemy!
What are you firing at? Oh, we can hold space and look at it. Okay, he's firing at the big blob over here that's fighting in the main front line. Doing damage, too. These mercenary hoplites. Yeah, they're getting hit. They are getting hit. Oh, that's a great. And you can see. Oh, that's a. I love Scorpion. That's like my new favorite thing in Rome, too, is the juicy Scorpions. Those baddie Scorpions. But yeah, that's some good hitting there with the Scorpions. And you can see maybe the attackers are trying to mitigate that and trying to really fight for this zone here. It's almost like the defenders should have stayed right here to make it easier for the Scorpion to land some hits. But it's too late now, unless you can push them back. Now they got archers moving up. Look at this. We got the Sardi Bowmen. And we got some slingers as well. They're trying to hit these axemen who have was it Carrion axemen? They've got the they've also got a decent skirmish ability. They're not considered skirmishers, but it's a good secondary. Everybody, I feel like, you know, that was like one of the most difficult transitions from going to Rome 1 to Rome 2. Rome 2, it feels like every unit has some sort of capability of throwing some sort of projectile, you know? Where in Rome 1, it was rare, it felt like. I could be misremembering, but... So a nice aggressive play by Syracuse, trying to push the pressure on this attacking force here. Yep, they're trying their best. Trying their best. All right, so good firing there. Sardi Bowman, heavy neurotic runners. Mercenary Samnite warriors. These runners charging in. Very nice. Parthian swordsmen moving up, trying to reinforce, and it's really just coming down to this one position, guys. And at this point, I feel like the defenders have the advantage. They've got the advantage. They've got the superior positioning. They got this Scorpion that's just racking up kills. And honestly, the attackers just might be thinking, what can we do? It's almost at 200 kills. They're probably thinking, we just have to sit here and hope they miss a lot and they run out of ammo, because we cannot do anything about it. They could try to move over some archers. Look at this thing go. It's so nice. They could try to move over archers this way and fire, but these archers are at risk of enemy archers, defending archers, getting on the walls and firing back at them. So there's a lot that could go wrong there. But I think they're just kind of sitting there and taking it from that Scorpion, which is unfortunate for the attackers. The defenders, though, this is good. The balance of power has shifted a little bit more in favor. Well, not more in favor, but more so in favor of the defenders. It's still overall in favor of the attackers, which is good because, you know, when you're on attack, you want a little bit more of an advantage because you have to overcome the defenses. So, yeah, there's the breaking hoplites, mercenary hoplites. Now we've got more. Look at this. These archers in a great position here. These bowmen trying to support, and I think are they going for, yep, they're going for the Persian Eastern Javelin men, who have 0 kills. They've already lost almost 10 men, 0 kills. Let's see if he can make a comeback with this unit and try to rack up some kills here, because you don't want to waste this unit. Javies can rack up a lot of kills. It'd be a waste of money. And honestly, at this point, guys, the attackers, they need to do something to overcome this. They might want to even consider attacking over here. I just don't know if they have the reserves. How many do they have kills? Okay, they have 96 kills with their Scorpion. Is it still firing? I think so. It's probably going for these units up here. Got the mercenary Samnite warriors. Let's see if any Scorpion bolts come flying this way. Any Scorpion bolts coming our way? I don't see anything, so. But I like this. I like this. And look at this. We've got archers kind of flanking around. These guys have no ammo, so they're probably just distracting the arrow tower, I suppose. This Scorpion is down. It's up to 219 kills. And I think they're out of ammo. I think they're spent. So the Scorpion is spent. Let's see if the attackers have enough after such Scorpion carnage. And yeah, again, like, I think this is coming down to skirmish. Like, whoever wins the skirmish wins the war. You know, like the skirmishing. Because these slingers have almost 200 kills, guys. And there's nothing that they can do about it. I think this was a blunder. And I don't want to call it here yet because there's still 8 minutes in this battle, guys. You know, it still could be anyone's game. But right now, this looks very dangerous for the attackers. And I think it really just comes down to the position that they attacked. You know, this L shape. You see this? This L shape? That is tough to deal with because you can get hit on. You can get hit on. You can get hit from both sides. So it's like, well, okay, we send some units up this way to fight, and then we send some units up this way. It doesn't matter. The archers here will shoot the units here, and then the archers over here will shoot the units over here. So it just, no matter where you're attacking, you're going to leave an opening somewhere. And they haven't been able to do enough to silence the defending archers. Just haven't done enough. But it's still very close, guys. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We've got the Parthian general. You know, things are getting desperate when the general has been activated. The Parthian general has 21 kills. I think maybe they charged the archers, or maybe that's just from charging infantry. No, they've only lost one there. Or maybe they charged this runners unit. But the general's doing everything he can to try to keep the defenders on their toes, but I don't know. I think that they should have earlier sent some units this way, sent the unit to destroy this tower, and put pressure here. Because it's harder for the archers to hit this side. I could be wrong, though. You know, this is just me playing Monday morning quarterback, as we say in the USA. Because, yeah, American football. Anyways, yeah, Thorax Swordsman holding. Sam Knight Warriors, an absolute beast of a unit. Having an epic fight. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And I'm starting to look at the attacking forces, and I'm getting gravely concerned. Gravely concerned. Now we've got Sam Knight Warriors closing in, and I think the defenders are going to put some pressure on the attackers on this position. This is going to force... Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Or maybe they're just throwing some jabbies in there. And they counter volley, but it doesn't do much. But yeah, what that's going to do is force units from this main fight to go this way at a point where they don't have units to spare. And now they're just, yeah, just fall back. Just get them in range of this arrow tower. Oh, man. And now the archer, oh, that's another good spot. The archer's firing over the buildings there, and they're going to try to hug the buildings to protect their men. Now we've got the general closing in. He's going to probably try to charge, and these guys are going to form shield wall, which makes those deadly cataphract charges a little less deadly, but still it's dangerous. Here we go. Oh! That's cool. But how much damage do they do? I don't know. I don't remember the numbers before the charge, but they're definitely not going to fall back anymore because they don't want to lose this arrow tower. More infantry's coming this way. This Syracuse General, Thorax, Hoplites, yep, coming over to support. We've got the Greek Scorpion. They're chilling back there. Their job is done. If they win this, they can feast well tonight knowing that they killed over 200 men. Or not sleep well. You know, maybe they'll live with the guilt. I don't know. That's up to them. But yeah, I think, oh my gosh, Syracuse sallying out with some archers? Some slingers who... They have 224 kills. They say, hey, why don't we go get some more kills, boys? Why don't we sally out and show them a good time? They're most likely going to die, but I think he's just trying to get as many kills with this unit as possible. I'm here for it. That's pretty cool. I like that aggressive play. Because what else are you going to do with them, you know? Now we got Egypt trying to charge into here. So now they're using their heavy cav to break through this steadfast defense, this shield wall line. Balance of power now is in favor of the defenders. We're down to the less than 3 minutes of the battle, and unless the attackers do something drastic, can pull off a miracle kill, maybe on their general or something, I don't see them turning this around. But anything is possible in Total War, and I think they're doing a good job with their cav doing the cycle charging, because they don't really have anything to counter that other than forming shield wall. I mean, they've got some archers here. They've got the general who has spears, and now they're charging these light peltis. Try to silence them, but this is dangerous because their flank is exposed to cav charges, but I don't think they're going to send any because the infantry is going to make sure they protect that flank. Thorax swordsman moving up to the front. Let's see. Are they going to go back for it? Oh, man, this is, I don't know, actually. The defenders are holding on by the skin of their teeth. They do have a fresh reserve back here. And look at this. Look at Parthia trying to use this wall here to probably get some flanking fire with the jabbies.
Close ranks! Raise shields! At speed!
And, oh, yeah, there's too much infantry. There's too much infantry for the attackers to deal with here. And the jaws of victory are closing in, or we can call them the jaws of defeat if we're looking from the attacker's perspective. Royal Cataphracts getting cut down by Thorax swordsmen. Oh yeah, these generals are battered and tired. One's down to 47, the other's down to 50. You got an archer unit coming in from the general as well. He's got 148 kills. I love this. This is a great spot for archers here. Really good spot. Nice. They're getting cut down. Royal Cataphracts, man. They're trying. They're doing everything they can, but they're down to the last remaining units. Everyone's breaking. Beautiful. Beautiful. They've got almost 100 kills, and they're trying to use their archers here, but it's a little too late, and this unit's breaking because their entire army has broken. So now is the time to flee, and this is going to be a victory for Bubinni and his ally, which I forgot his name. I will see his name at the end. Okay, so great battle. I think this was a good battle of another example of showing how important it is to win the positioning and like to really utilize the skirmishers in this game, because they can really rack up a lot of kills. And I mean, just an utter look at all the bodies here. Utter carnage. A lot of fun. A high skilled battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new today. But yeah, look at the kills here. Bubinni and Sir Alex. So GG to all the players, the Dragon Reborn and Mr. Shiny Shots. Yeah, so really fun stuff here. Let's look at the kills here. 219 from the Scorpion. I'm gonna give that the MVP stamp of approval. I mean, yeah, it played a big part. I'll give it the MVP. Why not? But a pretty good even spread here. These heavy infantry, I actually did really good. Wow, really good. This one almost 200 kills. I mean, this is all really, really good. No cav, just lots of infantry. And then you got the Red Dragon. His general did some work. Hey, his Scorpion did some work too. Not as much, but it still did some work. But yeah, this was a great battle. I really enjoyed it. Oh, look at the Sobek Cultists. Why didn't I not see them in action? I didn't get that many kills. The 62 is decent, but yeah, his archers did okay. These archers, well, I mean, I don't know. The archers did okay here and there, but yeah, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Again, check out Bubinni's channel for more great informative videos. I hope you enjoyed this, and guys, I'll see you next time on the battlefield.